This is the most terrifying episode in all of Gumball, and yes, it's all his fault. Did you know that in the Amazing World of Gumball, there is a hidden character who never should have been there? A being who appears in more than 13 episodes, who no one mentions, who has no backstory, and yet who is always watching us. It's a clown. A clown with wrinkled skin, empty eyes, and a dead smile. He never speaks, never interacts, never changes. He just stares. Some believe he's just a simple background element, others that he's a nod to Pennywise, but some maintain he is much more sinister, an error in the show's reality, a narrative parasite, or even an entity that doesn't belong in Elmore. And the most disturbing part is that he isn't watching the characters, he is watching you. Today, we are going to dive into Gumball's most terrifying mystery. And once you see this, you will never be able to unsee it. This is Gumball's most terrifying episode, finally resolved. Call to subscribe and like. The first time someone notices him is in the episode The Procrastinators. A seemingly innocent chapter where Gumball and Darwin do the impossible to avoid taking out the trash. Nicole insists, yells at them, but they distract themselves with anything. And when they decide to draw each other, the unsettling thing happens. The motionless, skeletal clown appears, spying from behind Gumball in the window. Gumball reacts, confused. Why did you draw a terrifying clown in the window? What should be a light joke becomes a warning. That clown truly exists in Elmore, and we would see him again. Later, during the song Nobody, where all the characters happily sing, the clown is also there. But he doesn't sing, he doesn't dance, he doesn't smile, he just watches, as if he doesn't belong in that world, as if he is there solely to unsettle the viewer. Then comes the bully, and here everything changes. It is revealed that the clown is not just a background extra, but a ghoul, a failed monster that can't even scare small children. But while everyone else sees him as a joke, we feel differently. We know he is more than that, because even if he fails at his job, his mere presence is terrifying. After this, the clown becomes a recurring phantom in the series. He appears in The Choices, motionless in the background, without blinking. In The Curse of Elmore, Tobias wears a mask of his face. No one is surprised, no one questions it. And in The Deal, he appears again, static, as if he had always been there. In total, at least 13 episodes, and in all of them without exception, his appearance never changes. Same wrinkled skin, same empty eyes, same red nose, as if he were eternal. The terrifying thing is not just that he appears, but how unnatural his design is. His skin looks dead, his eyes are lifeless black slits, and his nose, instead of softening him, makes him grotesque. And worst of all, he never does anything. He doesn't scream, he doesn't run, he doesn't attack. He is just there, still, like a bug in the system. In a world like Gumball's, where everything is chaotic and nothing makes sense, that immobility makes him the most terrifying anomaly. Because if everything is moving except him, then he doesn't belong. And that is the key. Elmore is full of oddities. A dinosaur in uniform, a talking banana, a rainbow with a mustache. But even within that absurd universe, the clown feels out of place. No one mentions him, no one talks about him, he has no recurring jokes. It's as if he was never created to be in Gumball. Here the theories begin. Some believe he is a glitch, an animation error that was never corrected. Others see him as a narrative parasite, an entity that feeds on our attention. And it's true, once you notice him, you can never stop seeing him, like a virus that sneaks into the episodes, waiting for someone to discover it. The most unsettling thing is that he seems to break the fourth wall. Gumball and Darwin have talked to the animators, they have destroyed files of their own show, but the clown doesn't fit even into that level of madness. He doesn't interact with the characters, he doesn't participate in the chaos. He seems to exist only for us, as if instead of watching Gumball and Darwin, he were watching you. And then comes the big question, where did he come from? Is he a simple dark joke from the animators? A visual error turned into tradition? Or something much more disturbing that was never meant to be in Elmore, but got stuck there? We will probably never know the truth. What we do know is that this clown does not act like any other character in the series. He doesn't change, he doesn't evolve, he has no purpose. He doesn't seem to be from Elmore, and perhaps he never was. The clown is not a character. The disturbing thing about this clown is not just his presence, but what he represents. In a chaotic world like Gumball's, where everything has an absurd explanation, where everything is justified with humor, the clown breaks the rules. He doesn't fit in, and that reminds us of something unsettling, that sometimes, even in stories we think we understand, there are pieces that shouldn't be there. The clown is like a crack in reality, an anomaly that forces us to look beyond the screen. He is not a simple character. He is a reminder that even in a fictional universe, shadows can exist that are unexplained, and that those shadows somehow look back at us. Because perhaps the true horror is not in what we see, but in what is seeing us. It is an enigma, a question the series never wanted to answer. And now that you have seen him, you will never be able to unsee him. This is Gumball's most terrifying episode.